All right, guys, listen up. This is going to be wild, so strap in. You're starting a brand new adventure here, parallel to the main campaign. That's right, parallel, meaning you're in the same world, same rules, same chaos. Solarus, the capital city of Aurorus, is your playground. It's bright, it's rammed, and it's full of people way more important than you, at least for now. Level 2 doesn't exactly scream hero, you know, but hey, everyone starts somewhere. Now let me make this very clear. If you've been watching the main campaign, I don't want to hear a damn thing about it. No metagaming. I swear. If you even think about leveraging insider knowledge, I'll make your life a living hell. Your characters don't know anything about the others, and that's how it's staying. This is your story, your ambitions, your screw-ups, and your glorious triumphs. And yeah, if by some twist of fate your paths cross with the main crew, great. Could be friendly, could be less friendly. Either way, that's on you.
Hold on a second, Joe. Hold on. I got to say something here. I've been collecting information, all right? I've got stacks, I mean literal pamphlets upon pamphlets, of intel I've been piecing together for like 2 years. You're telling me to just forget all that? Come on, man. You think I didn't notice the signs? The patterns? There's a bigger picture here. Connections they don't want us to see. You expect me to just ignore the truth?
That's exactly what he's saying, cocksucker. What's the point in playing if you're just gonna cheat? Huh? So why don't you take those pamphlets, roll them up nice and tight, and shove them straight up your ass? Let's play the damn game the right way.
I just wish I was told about this before I wasted so much ink printing these frickin' things out.
Well, Alex, maybe next time you should consider asking before you start a small printing press operation. Just a thought.
Honestly, I'm more concerned about how much of your brain power you wasted coming up with this nonsense. I mean, what the heck is this? Vasuriel is the son of Tronald. Celestia is evil. Kobe von Jabroni is actually the emperor. What the hell were you smoking when you came up with this?
Oh, you laugh now, Nigel, but when the truth comes out, don't come crying to me.
Alex, just shut the fuck up for a second.
I'm just saying, if you can't see how a master illusionist could ascend to the throne, then you're the one living in a fantasy.
Dude, shh.
Shall we introduce our characters?
Great idea.
All right, so I'm going to be...
Not you, man. You wait until last. My God, I've been with you all of 2 minutes and you're already pissing me off.
What? So should I go first?
Just whatever, man. Honestly, I'm already regretting this.
All right, listen up, you sons of bitches. The name's Thick Trunk, and yeah, I'm a Loxodon. Big, mean, and built like a goddamn war machine. I took the oath of vengeance, not because I'm a saint, but because someone's got to clean up the filth in this world. And by clean up, I mean smash their faces in till they're begging for mercy. You think I carry this massive hammer for decoration? Nah, this baby's for laying down justice, my kind of justice. And don't let the trunk fool you. I ain't here to play nice. Step out of line, cross the wrong people, and you'll find out just how hard a pissed-off elephant can hit.
That was great, Joey, really, but you're level 2. You don't have your oath yet.
Are you fucking kidding me, Joe? What kind of Mickey Mouse operation is this?
Oh, he's quite right, Joey. You don't get your sacred oath until level 3. It's in the rules, my dear boy. Do try to keep up.
Level 3? Are you kidding me? Oh, for fuck's sake, Alex, this is on you. I swear, this is the last time I let you talk me into anything.
Whoa. Why am I catching heat for this? You came to me, Joey. You asked for advice, and I delivered. I gave you the most optimized, efficient build possible based on everything I've gathered. You know, if you'd read my notes, you'd see that the system's designed to suppress players at lower levels to keep them dependent on the DM. It's all there in my pamphlets. I mean, they don't want us reaching our full potential, Joey. That's the real conspiracy.
Let's be honest. You went to Alex Jones for advice. What did you think was going to happen? You expected clarity? Insight? That's on you, man.
Yeah, real fucking cute, Tucker. Keep talking and see what happens when this trunk comes flying at your face.
Do you mean in-game or your actual trunk?
I mean my actual fucking trunk. I swear, I'll wrap that thing so tight around your neck you won't be able to breathe.
Ah, yes. Nothing says calm decision-making like threatening your own party members. We're off to a splendid start already.
All right. Next person, Tucker, you're up.
All right. Let's get this over with. My name is Quill. That's it, just Quill. No last name, no family lineage, no tragic backstory. I'm a kinku. I've spent years perfecting the art of communication, mimicking the voices of everyone from street rats to high lords, and let me tell you, people will believe anything if it's said in the right tone. Now, as a rogue, I work in the shadows where I thrive, breaking into places I shouldn't be, Child's play? Picking locks? Done before you blink? Gathering dirt on unsuspecting nobles? My specialty. You'd be amazed what people let slip when they think they're alone.
Quill, was it? Lovely to have a sociopath on board. Just don't mimic my voice. I'd hate to be misrepresented.
You'd think you'd be used to it by now, Nigel, with all the shit people say about you.
I'm telling you, this is exactly how it starts. They plant someone in the group who can copy voices, and suddenly you're hearing orders you never gave. It's a classic infiltration tactic. They've been doing it since the age of the megocracy, goddammit.
Relax, Alex. If I mimic your voice, it'll only be to make you sound sane. Though that might be the hardest job of all.
All right, Nigel, introduce your character.
Allow me to introduce myself, gentlemen. The name's Barwin Brexitus, though I've been called many things. A bard by trade, a speaker of truths, and dare I say, a bit of a patriot. My talents: words sharper than a blade, songs that stir hearts or stop them cold, and a knack for getting exactly what I want. I've stood before courts, kings, and commoners, and I've left them all hanging on my every syllable. Some call it charisma. I call it natural superiority.
What fucking race are you?
Whoa there, Joey, that sounded awfully aggressive. I feel like if I say the wrong thing, you'll be ready to slaughter me on the spot.
He's got a point. You ever notice how Loxodons are always the first to judge? I've got charts to prove it. It's systematic. They see anyone who doesn't have tusks, and bam, they're labeled as unworthy. It's baked into the cultural fabric. That's why no one talks about the Loxodon Empire. They don't want you to know the truth.
Well, I'm a human, plain and simple.
All right, I'll allow it. But watch yourself, Barwin. One wrong move, and this trunk's got your name on it.
All right, go on then, Alex. Tell us who you are.
All right, you want to know who I am? The name's Squibbity. But don't let the ridiculous name fool you. I'm a kobold, which means I'm smarter than I look and scrappier than most of you combined. Now, I'm not just some scaly little runt scurrying around in the shadows. I'm a wild magic sorcerer, so I've got power. Unpredictable power. Magic flows through me like a raging river, and let me tell you, it's not something you can control. It's like the universe itself is trying to speak through me, and sometimes it screams. Fireballs, lightning bolts, random explosions. I've got the whole package, baby. And if you think it's dangerous, well, you're goddamn right it is. But don't think for a second I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I've got a purpose. There's a bigger picture out there, and I'm telling you right now, things aren't as they seem. The gods, the kingdoms, the very fabric of this world, it's all connected. I've seen the signs, the omens, and let me tell you, the truth is out there. And if you don't believe me, that's your loss. Just don't stand too close when I cast something. You've been warned.
Squibbity? What the fuck kind of name is that? You sound like a sneeze.
I'm more concerned about the random explosions part. Is there a range of safety we should be aware of?
Nowhere safe.
Oh, marvelous. A walking hazard with a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, I'm telling you, there's a reason this magic is unstable. It's tied to forces you can't even comprehend.
All right then, guys. So now that you've all been introduced, let's begin. You're all gathered on Piss Avenue. Not its real name, obviously. Hell, you're not even sure it has a name. But you know why it's called that, and so does everyone else who's had the misfortune of trudging through here. The air hangs heavy with the sharp, sour tang of desperation, and the cobblestones beneath your boots are slick with filth that no amount of rain can ever seem to wash away. Times have been tough for all of you, tougher than usual, even for folks like you who've spent your lives scraping by in the back streets of Drudgemire, the district where dreams come to die. The rooftops hang low, sagging under the weight of rot and neglect, like they're as tired of this place as you are. You're fed up. Fed up with the stink, fed up with the hunger, fed up with watching the gold-lined carriages roll by on the main avenues while you're left squabbling over scraps. You want more, need more, money, power, respect. Hell, even a full belly wouldn't go amiss. But this city, this goddamn city, it's a cage, and you're the rats fighting over crumbs. And now there's the chaos. Rumors spread like the smell here. The military's drafting more troops every day, offering steady pay and a hot meal, if you're lucky enough to survive long enough to earn it. You've thought about signing up, each of you, maybe once or twice, but you're still here, on Piss Avenue. So, here you stand, surrounded by yellow puddles and broken dreams in the poorest part of Solarus. The world's pressing down on you, and there's got to be a way out, somewhere, somehow. The question is, what do you do?
All right, hold up, Joe. I gotta ask, just how poor are we talking here? Like Are we can't afford a loaf of bread broke or selling our shoes for a bowl of soup broke?
You're broke, Squibbity. Flat out, rock bottom broke. You've got the clothes on your back, a couple of scraps in your bag, and that's it. You're not selling your shoes for soup. You don't even have shoes worth selling.
This is some bullshit, man. So what? We're just out here looking like assholes on Piss Avenue? Is that the vibe?
Yep. You look like ass, straight up. You've got stains in places you didn't know could stain, your armor's falling apart. Well, what passes for armor? And the only thing keeping people from mugging you is the fact that you look like you've got nothing worth taking.
Marvelous. Truly the portrait of success. So, tell me, Joe, do we at least have any starting gear, or is this some cruel experiment in survival?
You've got items, bare bones stuff, a rusty dagger, maybe a cracked lute for you, Barwin, some second-hand gear that's been through the ringer. But coin? Forget it. You couldn't even scrape together enough to bribe a rat.
Sounds delightful. So we're broke, we look like garbage, and we've got barely functioning equipment. Can we at least count on the people here to be worse off than us, or are we the bottom of the barrel?
Well, let's just say you're on the same level as most folks here, but that's not exactly comforting. Drudgemire doesn't attract anyone with ambition. It's a holding pen for people who've already lost everything. You're just one bad day away from becoming part of the piss-soaked street itself.
Okay, but hear me out. What if this is all part of a larger system to keep us oppressed, huh? They push the poorest of us into these districts so we can't rise up. Classic divide and conquer. I'm telling you, there's a reason we're stuck here.
Alex, shut the fuck up, man. Nobody's dividing or conquering anything. We're broke because we're broke, plain and simple. Ain't no conspiracy about it.
Oh, I don't know, Thrunk. He might be onto something.
What the fuck did you just call me?
I called you Thrunk. Thick Trunk just wasn't working in my head, so I merged the two together. What do you think?
I fucking love it.
Glad we're on the same page. Now, as I was saying, perhaps the city's elite do have secret meetings to decide which district gets the least bread today.
Oh, see? Even Barwin gets it. This is bigger than all of us. The shortages, the drafts, the whispers in the dark alleys, it's all connected. They're orchestrating a grand scheme to keep us suppressed.
All right, conspiracies aside, standing around in a puddle of piss isn't getting us anywhere. We need a plan. Does anyone have any actual ideas on how to get out of this mess?
Well, we could always sign up for the military. Beats starving out here.
Ah, yes. Trading one form of servitude for another. How inspiring.
Or we could expose the truth, uncover the hidden agendas, and bring down the corrupt from their gilded towers.
Tempting, but perhaps we start with something achievable, like finding a job that doesn't involve getting stabbed or conscripted.
Maybe there's some work at the docks. I ain't afraid of heavy lifting.
Solaris is landlocked, Thrunk.
I wasn't talking about no sea docks. I meant the fancy airship things.
Yeah, no. You guys looking like you do wouldn't be let within 10 miles of that area.
Well, where can I lift something? I want to get my pump on.
Manual labor. Perish the thought. Surely there's a tavern in need of a talented bard to liven up the place and fill our pockets.
Bars are great for gathering information. Loose lips and all that. We could pick up on rumors, maybe find a lucrative opportunity.
Now we're talking. Information is valuable.
All right, then. Let's get off this damn street and make something happen. First round's on whoever makes the first coin.
Joe, do I know of any taverns nearby?
Roll an intelligence check for me, Barwin.
That's a 13.
You know of 3 taverns within about 10 minutes of here, still within Drudgemire. Each has its own quirks. First, there's the Dripping Dagger. Calling it a tavern is being generous. The roof leaks, the floors creak, and the ale tastes like someone wrung it out of an old boot. But it's cheap, and the barkeep, a surly dwarf named Gorva, doesn't ask questions, so long as you don't mind him asking for payment up front. It's the kind of place where you can drink your sorrows away, provided you're not too picky about what's in your cup. Next, there's the Cracked Cask. Once a busy tavern, the Cracked Cask has been shut down for over a year after the city deemed it unfit for business. But that hasn't stopped people from gathering there. With no staff and no rules, it's become a sort of free-for-all hangout for the district's downtrodden. Folks bring their own drinks or steal them, and arguments over ownership are settled with fists more often than not. The city guard doesn't bother enforcing the closure. Hell, they're probably too scared to try. And finally, there's the Hollow Hearth. A little more upscale than the other two, not that that's saying much. The Hollow Hearth's name comes from the perpetually empty fireplace in its common room, a feature that once symbolized the warmth of community, but now feels like a grim joke. It's run by an old couple, Germaine and Hilda. who've kept it alive through sheer stubbornness. They serve watered-down stew and weak ale, but the place is clean, and the patrons are less likely to stab you for bumping into them. So Barwin, those are your options. A hole in the wall, a lawless ruin, or a slightly better hole in the wall. Which one's calling your name?
Decisions. Well, as much as I'd enjoy a stroll through anarchy at the Cracked Cask, I'd rather not have my head caved in tonight. The Hollow Hearth, though. That sounds tolerable. What say you all?
Barwin, you got rocks in your head or what? We ain't looking for comfort, we're looking for cash. What the fuck we gonna do at the Hollow Hearth? Sip watered-down ale and stew while we sit on our broke asses? Nah, man. We need action.
Exactly, Thrunk. We need to move the needle. Forget the cozy tavern vibes. This city's falling apart, and that's where opportunity lies. Places like the Cracked Cask, that's where you hear the whispers, where people are desperate enough to make deals. Trust me, chaos is a gold mine.
Right, because nothing screams opportunity like walking into a brawl waiting to happen. But Thrunk's got a point. Comfort isn't the priority right now. We're not here to spend money we don't have. We're here to make it. We need leads, connections, or someone desperate enough to pay us for something.
Fine. Forgive me for suggesting a place that doesn't reek of imminent violence. You're all right. Coin comes first. And if that means rubbing elbows with the filth of the Cracked Cask, so be it. Let's just hope the opportunity doesn't involve us bleeding out in the corner.
Finally, you're seeing sense, Barwin. We don't need nice, we need work. Let's hit the cask and see what shakes loose.
With a unanimous, reluctant decision, you set off for the Cracked Cask. The stench of desperation thickens as you approach, mingling with the sour tang of spilled ale and something distinctly like burnt hair. The building looms ahead, sagging and lifeless, but inside the sound of rowdy laughter and shouts spills out onto the street. The door hangs slightly ajar, inviting or warning. You're not sure.
All right, listen up. Dominance is important. You can't look weak, not even for a second, or these assholes will be on you like flies on shit. So here's the plan. I'm swinging this door open, walking in high and proud. Follow my lead.
The door groans in protest as you shove it wide, stepping into the Cracked Cask like you own the place. Your massive frame fills the doorway, the dim light from the few surviving lanterns inside, casting long, tusked shadows on the filthy floor. The chatter and clinking of mugs falter for just a moment, and all eyes shift to you, a Loxodon, looking far too confident for a place like this. To your left, two grizzled humans have a tabaxi pinned, their paws scrabbling uselessly against the floorboards. They're forcing the poor bastard's head into a makeshift fire, a pile of broken chairs and splintered tables crackling away in the corner. They pause, glancing up at you with dull, suspicious eyes, sizing you up for just a second before going right back to their work, the flames licking at the tabaxi's singed fur.
Good heavens, why are they burning a cat?
I honestly have no idea, and for once I'm not sure I want to know. There's chaos, and then there's this.
Joe, I walk over to them. Oi, why the hell are you burning this cat?
You stomp over, the floorboards creaking under your bulk, and the two men glance up again, this time properly taking in your towering form. One of them, a wiry, scarred man with teeth yellow enough to glow, scratches at his stubble and shrugs, like you're the one being unreasonable.
Took a shit on my table,
He says, voice flat and unapologetic.
then tried to run, so we're burning him, simple as that.
The other guy nods, as if this is the most logical explanation in the world, and gives the tabaxi another shove toward the flames.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Carry on.
Fair enough. That's the best you've got.
The two men give you a respectful nod before returning to their impromptu roasting session, and the tabaxi lets out a pathetic yowl as smoke fills the room. The rest of the tavern seems to barely notice, most patrons too drunk or too disinterested to care. Welcome to the Cracked Cask, where standards are as low as the floorboards you're standing on.
I cannot believe you just let that happen, Thrunk. That poor creature was screaming. Have you no sense of decency?
Decency? Are you shitting me, Barwin? The guy crapped on their table. What, you want me to start a fight over a cereal shitter? Get real.
That's not the point, Thrunk. You saw how desperate he was. They were burning him alive over a pile of feces. Is that where we draw the line now? No compassion, no empathy, just burn the guy and call it a day?
Compassion? Quill, this is how society crumbles. You let one guy shit on tables and get away with it, and pretty soon it's a free-for-all. Next thing you know, everyone's doing it. That's how anarchy starts, folks.
Don't be ridiculous, Squibbity. He's not the herald of societal collapse. He's a victim. You can't seriously believe that a tabaxi shitting on a table is some kind of coordinated attack on public order.
Victim? Barwin. He made the call to shit on the table. Nobody forced him to do it. Actions have consequences. You crap on someone's property, you get burnt. That's street justice, plain and simple.
Street justice? Oh, brilliant. Let's just leave morality at the door, shall we? If that's the standard, then what happens when we step out of line? You think this lot won't find a reason to turn on us? It's a slippery slope, Thrunk.
Slippery slope, my ass. We're talking about a guy who thought a table was an outhouse. You really think that guy was going to turn his life around? Please.
Look, Barwin, if I stepped in every time someone needed saving in this city, I'd be a damn skeleton by now. You want to play hero? Go ahead, but don't drag me into it.
As the argument swirls around you, the tabaxi's yowls pierce through the din like a rusty blade. He's not dead yet, not even close. The flames are licking at his fur, curling the edges and filling the air with a nauseating, burnt hair stench that clings to the back of your throat. His claws scrabble weakly at the floorboards, leaving long, desperate scratches in the wood as he tries and fails to push himself away from the fire. The two men holding him down look completely unbothered, one of them even yawning as though this is just another Tuesday night. The tabaxi's howls rise to an almost musical pitch, somewhere between a cry for help and a banshee's scream, cutting straight through the tavern noise. If you wanted to step in, you probably could. It wouldn't take much. Hell, the guys holding him down don't even seem that committed to the cause. But hey, it's your call. No judgment, just the continuing, haunting, absolutely unforgettable sound of a sentient being roasting alive.
My God, talk about trying to pressure someone into taking action. Fine. You want me to do something? I'll do something. Joe, I walk up to the two guys, pull out my maul, and smash it onto the closest one's skull.
All right, make an attack roll.
That's a natural 20.
Holy shit. Thrunk, what the hell, man?
All right, a crit, awesome. Roll your damage.
Okay, so that's 8 points of bludgeoning damage from the maul, doubled to 16, plus my strength, which is 3. So that's 19. But I'm also going to divine smite him. So that's an additional 15 points of radiant damage, doubled to 30. So I guess that's 42 points total.
Jesus, all right, let me describe this. Thrunk, your maul connects with this guy's skull, and the impact is like a thunderclap in the middle of the room. His head doesn't just crack. It bursts like a rotten melon, sending bone fragments and, well, let's call it brain matter splattering across the floor and the poor tabaxi's singed fur. His body goes limp immediately, crumpling into a heap like a marionette with its strings cut. The room goes silent, except for the dripping sound of what used to be his face hitting the floor.
Good gods above, was that truly necessary?
Absolutely. And now for the follow-up. I turn to his splattered corpse and say, "Thou shalt not punish the shitter of tables. One must learn to forgive, my child. Now rise from your grave and learn the error of your ways."
Rise from your grave? Thrunk, I'm pretty sure he's not getting up. Like ever.
Lay on hands. I heal him for 1 health point.
You kneel down, channeling your divine power into what's left of this guy. But, yeah. Nothing happens. He's dead, man. Like, real dead. You hit him for over triple his health pool. Even the gods are probably shrugging right now. The guy's not coming back. Ever. His remains are now just a lumpy stain on the tavern floor.
Well, that was fucking biblical.
As for the other guy holding the tabaxi, he takes one look at his friend, or what's left of him, and makes a sound somewhere between a gasp and a squeak. He doesn't even try to fight, just bolts for the door like his ass is on fire, leaving behind the tabaxi, who looks less grateful and more terrified as he stares at you.
Well done, Thrunk. I'm sure that poor feline feels so much safer now, watching you smite someone into oblivion in his honor.
Hey, I did my part. Guy learned his lesson. Or he would have if his skull hadn't turned to pudding. Not my fault he couldn't take a hit.
The tavern patrons, for their part, don't seem particularly fazed. Most of them just go back to their drinks and conversations, though a few of them give you a wide berth now. The tabaxi, still singed and trembling, looks like he's unsure whether to thank you or run for his life. What do?
I approached the tabaxi. Why, in the 9 hells, did you decide to take a poo on that man's table? I mean, are the toilets in here so vile that you had to resort to that? Good gods, man. Have some dignity.
I didn't shit on no table.
Oh, here we go. Classic denial. Next, you'll tell us it's all part of some grand conspiracy.
It was a conspiracy, you scaly lunatic. I was a messenger, delivering a message on behalf of Varen Duskvale, the art collector from Emberest.
Who the fuck is Varen Duskvale? And what's Emberest? That sounds fancy.
It's a district just a little north of here. Wealthier, but not too wealthy if you catch my drift. I was scouting out a sale on his behalf. Varen's been trying to get his hands on a rare tapestry, and I was supposed to check its authenticity. But when I got here, these guys had no intention of selling anything. They just wanted to rob me.
Wait, hold on. You're telling us this whole situation, getting your head roasted alive, was just a robbery gone wrong?
Exactly. I didn't have any coin on me, so when they couldn't rob me, they decided to make an example out of me. Said they'd burn me alive to send a message. I was the messenger. The irony is killing me more than the fire.
So, let me get this straight. You're a messenger for a moderately wealthy art collector, scouting out a rare tapestry, and instead of professionalism, you end up as a bonfire centerpiece.
That's about the size of it, yeah. And if you hadn't stepped in, I'd be dead. Though, honestly, after what that big guy did to that thug, I'm not sure if I should thank you or start running.
Hey, I saved your ass, didn't I? Those guys won't mess with you again, or anyone really, especially the one I smashed.
All right, but here's the real question. Why would some art collector send you alone into a district like this? Seems awfully sketchy to me. Varen Duskvale, huh? Sounds like the type who doesn't want to get his own hands dirty.
Of course he wouldn't. I mean, just look at this place. Nobody in their right mind ventures here willingly. The only reason I did was because it's my job. And gods, do I hate it. This is the last straw. I'm done with it, I tell you. Done.
Well, it certainly sounds like Varen sends you to do the dirty work while he sits in his fine house with peacock-colored shutters, sipping wine and admiring his collection. Very convenient for him, wouldn't you say?
You're telling me he sends you into places like this regularly with no backup, no protection? Seems to me like Varen doesn't value his employees much. That's a dangerous oversight.
Exactly. He doesn't care. He just wants results. Doesn't matter what I have to go through to get them. But this is too much. Nearly getting burned alive? No tapestry is worth this.
So what? You're just gonna walk away from the job? No coin, no nothing, after all that?
What choice do I have? Keep risking my life for a guy who sees me as expendable? Forget it. I'm better off starving than working for Varen Duskvale another day.
Starving? Nah, there's a better way out of this mess. You've got something Varen doesn't, my feline friend, information.
Information? What are you talking about?
Think about it. You know his routines, his contacts, where he keeps his valuables. If you're truly done with him, why not let us take advantage of that? Help us redistribute some of his wealth, huh?
Redistribute? You mean rob him? Are you insane? He's a collector, not some street thug. His house is guarded, and if he catches me...
Relax. Nobody's saying you have to do anything dangerous. Just tell us what we need to know. We'll do the heavy lifting. You stay out of sight.
And let's be real, after how he treated you, he kind of deserves it, doesn't he? You said yourself, you're done working for him. Why not make that exit count?
I don't know. This sounds risky.
Risky? You've already been burned, literally. What's the worst that happens to you if we fail? You're not involved. Just provide the information and let us handle the rest. It's a win-win for you.
Think about it this way. This could be your chance to get some justice for all the times Varen used you without a second thought. A clean break with nothing to tie you to him anymore.
I'm going to need someone to make a group persuasion check for me with advantage.
Are you all happy if I take the lead with this? Think I've got the best charisma.
Yeah, go for it.
Nice, that's a 23, Joe.
Awesome work, man.
All right, fine, but I'm not getting involved beyond giving you the details. If this goes south, I was never here, understood?
Yeah, we get it. Now spill it. What's your name, by the way? We can't keep calling you the cat.
It's Jask Quickpaw. And if you're serious about this, I'll tell you what I know. Varen keeps most of his valuables in a locked room at the back of his house. It's guarded, sure, but the guards aren't exactly elite. And the key? It's always on him. He doesn't trust anyone else with it.
Sounds manageable. Anything else we should know?
Yeah, don't underestimate him. Varen might not seem like much, but he's cunning. He's got traps set up around the house, too. Magic ones. If you're going to do this, you'd better be careful.
Careful is our middle name. Well, maybe not Thrunks, but the rest of us are professionals. This Verin Duskvale won't know what hit him.
You all pull up around a secluded table that, against all odds, is still standing in this wreck of a tavern. The chairs creak ominously as you sit, and the tabletop is sticky with something you don't want to think too hard about. The air hangs heavy with smoke and stale ale, but you lean in close, speaking in hushed tones as Jask begins laying out the details. Over the next hour, you piece together a plan. Jask describes Verin's house, 2 stories, nestled on the western edge of Emberest, right where the district starts blending into wealthier neighborhoods. Bright cerulean curtains make it hard to miss, and there's a small garden out front that no doubt serves as more decoration than deterrent. The locked room in the back? That's where the valuables are kept. Verin keeps the key on him at all times, either in his pocket or hanging from a chain around his neck. The guards? Hired muscle, not exactly elite, but there's enough of them to be a problem if you're not careful. And the traps? Magical, and apparently set up to keep people out, or worse, keep them in. Jask doesn't know all the details, but he warns you not to trigger anything unless you like the idea of a sudden, fiery death. Once you're confident you've squeezed all the useful information out of him, Jask gives a tired sigh, his singed fur still smelling faintly of smoke, and nods. He leans back and says,
Well, when you're finished, I'll be around here. Somewhere. Are we all good with the idea of a 20% cut?
Don't fucking push it, Cat, 10%. Unless you've got the contacts to help us flog the artwork after we steal it. Then we'll talk 20.
Yes, I can arrange that end of things. Verin's buyers have always been discreet. I know the right people who'd be interested in whatever you find. 20% it is.
And with that, Jask stands, gives you one last nervous nod, and slinks out of the cracked cask, disappearing into the night. The rest of you are left sitting around the sticky table, the weight of what you've agreed to sinking in. The room feels quieter somehow, the muffled sounds of drunken laughter and shouted arguments fading into the background. Your target is clear, the stakes are high, and in a city as unforgiving as Solarus, you know you'll have to play this smart, or end up worse off than the Tabaxi roasting incident you just witnessed. And that's where we're going to wrap up this session. See you on the next one, guys.